So thank you all for joining me today. I am going to go ahead and if you want to be on camera, you can be on camera or you can mute yourself. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work today because this isn't the plan that we had. And I was just telling them before I pushed the record button that Dr. Marisol is not feeling well, and I didn't get any notifications that she wouldn't be joining the webinar today. So I'm kind of thrown off. So if you want to unmute yourself, please do. If you want to ask some questions about castor oil, and we will do that. Or if you want to just head out, please do whatever you feel like at this point. I appreciate you joining me. Renee from Michigan, awesome. Dora from Waco, Chris and Amy from Texas. Oh, good. Started using castor oil recently and looking forward to learning more about it. Yvonne from Michigan, Tenzi from Palestine, Texas. Thank you so much for being here on time. Dr. Marisol's a great person to talk about castor oil, and I've been using it for years. So I guess I will just wing it and go, okay. So there were a number of things that I wanted to learn about castor oil. So I'm going to open it up to you, and we will, since I'm recording this, I will make sure that I address those things. So if you guys have questions that you specifically want to ask, go ahead and come on the call. I've been using castor oil for a few years. I've used it topically. I've done oil pulling with it. I've used it for constipation when I was a little plugged up, and done castor oil packs and just used it on topically for different things. Castor oil is just very soothing, and I've seen some really good results with that. And when you are constipated, a little castor oil internally can make a big difference to get that flow going again. So I'm not sure what you guys want to talk about right now. I had an agenda to talk with Dr. Marisol, but I guess that's not going to happen today. The floor is yours. All right. Well, since you're on the call right now, I will let you know our next webinar is going to be in December on the 5th. And we will be, let me pull up my notes real quick. We will be discussing, oh, wrong notes. We will be discussing setting boundaries for the holidays, managing stress, and how the best way to manage stress is during holiday kind of things, both, setting boundaries for other people, setting boundaries for yourself, as well as discussing different things that you can do as far as supplementation, things to avoid, things to take care of. So that will be on December 5th at 12:30 Central Time. So that will be with a friend of mine that is a licensed professional counselor in Texas. Her name is Julie Benvenuto. And I'm looking forward to that on December 5th. I'm not sure when we'll be rescheduling the time with Marisol with the webinar on castor oil, but I appreciate you guys being here. Any questions? Let's see, if you want to unmute yourself, if you want to say something, if you want to put it in the chat. A specific brand that I recommend, excellent, Eliana. Yes, castor oil is one of those things that has a lot of toxicities in it. And that was one of the questions I was going to pose for Dr. Marisol, because she's done a ton of research on it. She did a lot of scientific studies on castor oil, and there are a few things that are really important. And I like Queen of the Thrones, this brand in particular, and she started this brand. And it is in a glass container. Castor oil will absorb a lot of toxicity, so never, never buy it in a plastic bottle. The brown bottle helps keep it for a longer time because it things going rancid will go faster when you have a clear bottle. So a brown glass bottle is very important. You want to make sure that it is organic, hexane free, because that's one of the things they use in processing. And that they are using the whole oil instead of putting other things with it. She actually has an organic form now too. I mean, not just organic, but there's cold pressed virgin oil. So she has two different types of castor oil, but this is from Queen of the Thrones. And it's a great product. I had tried another castor oil and I was like, wow, this stuff doesn't seem like it's very good. And it was in a plastic bottle and I could taste it when I put it in my mouth. I could taste like some weirdness to it. So, castor oil from Queen of the Thrones is really good. You can go online to Queen of the Thrones and you'll find it very easily. They have it on Amazon. They also have their own website. I personally really like their little roller ball. So this is a fuzz, a long blonde hair fuzz that is on there. That happens in my life. Their little castor roll-on is really good, and this is a, what do they call it? Rose quartz roller ball. So this isn't a plastic roller ball. This is rose quartz. And when I do a castor oil pack on my side, or if I do it on my thyroid area, I roll it on instead of loading up the castor oil pack with a lot of oil. When it comes to using a castor oil pack, Queen of Thrones has the best pack setup that I think is even available because they have a cotton lining that is on the inside. And then on the back of it, actually, I have it right here. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about castor oil. Thank you for the questions, Eliana. I love you. I miss your face. Having moved to the desert and not in Waco anymore, it's a big deal. So this is the way that the castor oil pack comes from Queen of the Thrones. And my light thing is adjusting because this is really light. This is cotton on the inside. They actually have an insert that you can put in as well that is a cotton line on the inside. And then on the back, you can see it's kind of shiny. It keeps the castor oil from going through. This pack is so well designed for the liver side area because it goes in a little bit and that will help kind of over that hip area and through the boob area so that when you apply it, you put it here. And it's hard for me to show because I have a really ugly background right now because we're renovating our house, but it is very easy to put on. So typically with a castor oil pack, and this is something I was going to talk to Marisol about. Well, maybe we'll talk about different things when she's on the call with me. You typically want to put about 2 tablespoons of castor oil on the pack, and then you would apply it and put it on for, I use it all night long. And I'm not sure if there's any issues with doing that all night long, but I've done it many times and I love it. They have the best straps. These are amazing. So I know how to sew. And before using Queen of Thrones, I tried to make a pack. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare it was. A lot of people will take a piece of flannel and put it over whatever area they want to apply it to. You can put castor oil all over the place. And they put it on and then they wrap plastic around their body. And that's not good because remember, castor oil is very absorbent of toxins. So if you are absorbing those toxins from that plastic into the castor oil, it's probably not the best thing to be doing if you're trying to support healthy function in the body. So she was very smart when she comes to putting together her pack. So this is the liver pack, I think is what they call it. But these straps are long and they really stretch. So they're super comfortable for sleeping at night with it. It's not a problem at all to sleep all night long and not get pinched or strung up. And they have them on both sides. So this will fit somebody that's petite or somebody that's large. And you just do 2 tablespoons of castor oil kind of over the whole area and then put it on your body. When you're using it another time, you only need about a tablespoon. So what I did when I first got this pack, because I've gone through many packs, I use the castor oil frequently, is I did the 2 tablespoons in there. And then I use this because it's less messy and apply it to the area that I'm going to use it. Can be in different areas, but the little roller ball I love because the application is a lot easier. It's not as messy. Castor oil is slick, but it's also a bit sticky. So for me, this is like the more no mess kind of function of it. So I like using this after that initial use of the castor oil pack, but you can put castor oil on topically. One of my clients, if you've just joined us, sorry, but Dr. Marisol is not going to be with us today. I just found out as the webinar was beginning that she wasn't well, and her assistant didn't bother letting me know she wouldn't be with us today. So I'm winging it right now. So the castor oil packs can be used in different ways. The one that I have here is the liver pack. They have one that can go over this area, the thyroid area, and even one for the abdomen that's just more of a straight kind of thing. And that can be used there. She just came out with some that almost look like nursing pads for breast area. And so you can put them on the breast area and have it tuck into a bra or something like that. And it's super easy to use the castor oil that way. And there's so many things that castor oil does to help with lymph movement, all kinds of different things. And, because it is not my forte, I mean, I can talk to personal clients and tell them what I've done and things that they might need to do. But for me to make recommendations, I'm not sure what is exactly legal to say and what is not legal to say. FDA is one of those things that they ruin all of it. And I hope there's some changes that will take place soon with the way that FDA deals with stuff. But there's a lot of really great information out there on castor oil. If you want to read a really good book, maybe before we meet with Dr. Marisol, this is her book. And if you want to learn about digestion, oh my goodness, there is so much information in this about just the basics of digestion. It's not all about castor oil. Just be aware of that. There are so many things that she talks about in here. And with everybody, I'm not going to be fully in agreement with certain recommendations because I think, diet is the one thing that I'm like, not always in agreement with people because I think everybody is a little different and we need to cater to that specific person in front of us when it comes to diet. But this is a really good book, like really good book. And I met Dr. Marisol a little over a year ago at a conference, and she just impressed me immensely. And I'll share that when she has a time that she can come on with us. But we had an amazing conversation then. I have seen her at 3 other conferences since then. And every time I see her, she doesn't remember my name, but no, you meet how many people at a conference like that. But we can hook up with a conversation again that we had had before. And she's remembering what we talked about. Names not necessarily, but the information is just fantastic. And some of the things that we've discussed are pretty serious as far as the way that castor oil can be beneficial. And she is just a huge volume of information. Look online to see where her podcast guest appearances are. Her website, Queen of the Thrones, has some amazing information in there about castor oil and how it works and why it's called the Queen of the oils. It has so many interesting constituents that it covers a lot of different things. It's so funny. I mean, I thought I knew a bit about castor oil until I was researching for our conversation today. And it's like, oh my gosh, we could probably spend a couple of days just on castor oil, just talking the whole time because there's so much information in there. And they are very generous with information on their website. You can use castor oil in conjunction with different types of massage. You can use castor oil as an oil pulling device. So this was one of my questions, which hopefully we'll get answered next time. But I had read online that using castor oil for oil pulling for oral health, you only have to do it for a couple minutes, maybe 2 minutes. I'm like 2 to 5 minutes versus 15 to 20 of other oils. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do the 2 to 5 minutes versus the 15 to 20 minutes for sure. So I did a little reel with me doing a 1 minute oil pull with that. So oral, support for the way that the mouth is feeling, and the health of the gums. I'm just like, what else do you guys want to know that I can, what I can talk about? Oh, awesome. So Chris or Amy, I don't know which one, or both of you that are watching, Logan's seeing some good results with castor oil for a skin growth. That is wonderful. I love hearing that. So sorry that she's not on the call right now. I'm like, I'm so sorry. What else do you need to know? I'm thinking. I don't even know what to say. Love to know, can it be used on the scalp? Absolutely. It can be. I have yet to find anything that where you can't use castor oil. I'll tell you how I've personally used it. So definitely I have used it on liver pack. So you may see my ugly background of my office that is still in renovation, but castor oil pack goes great right here. And so, applying it topically this way, see how it's curved the way that they made theirs? I love that. So it goes right under the boob and it right over the hip butt part down here. So it's curved on this side too. So it goes on very easily. And you just tie it with these straps, and you can tie it tighter or looser, however it works. But there are 2 straps on each side, so you can have a little more stability depending on what your girth is and what your shape is. So, oh my gosh, my whole background's going to fall. Okay, so see how we've got it tied here? I can do it really tight or loose. I have a shirt on, so I don't really want to get the castor oil soaked into my shirt. My new shirt's from the Village Shop in West Texas. Shelly sent it to me in the mail. So there you go. They have, let me see if I have it right here. I forgot to pull this one out. So this is, oh no, that's not it. It's something else that's in the same kind of bag. Well, I don't have it available right there, but they have one that is kind of almost like an eye pack shape. So it goes like this, that kind of shape. You can put that on this area too. And that's something that a lot of people recommend, is using that daily for support of the thyroid area or this part of your neck. I don't know what's legal to say or not, so I'm not making any promises, not giving advice, just letting you know this is an educational kind of opportunity. So Eliana is asking about castor oil for constipation. So what's going on? Sorry, I'm just looking at the okay, so now castor oil can be used internally. That is actually an FDA approved thing to say. And it can be taken, just doing a little, like a teaspoon of castor oil internally can help get your bowels moving. And I was listening to one of the podcasts. Let me see if I've got it. So she did a really good, interesting podcast with the Bone Coach. So the Bone Coach podcast, you might want to check that out. She was talking about how there was a military guy, Mussolini, maybe? No, not Mussolini. Maybe Mussolini. I don't know. But somebody who used castor oil as a torture device. And I know it sounds really weird, but it gets your bowels moving. If you take too much castor oil, it's really fast. So be aware of that, just a little tiny bit. Try it, see how it goes. If you're still constipated, do a little bit more. Always, always, always. Those of you that have been my clients, and I'm sure that you have, a lot of you have been. I'm looking at the list. I'm like, a lot of you know me. What's the first thing I always talk about? Number 1, water. If you are not drinking enough water, you will not be healthy no matter what you do. So that's key. Number 1. Number 2, eating good, healthy food and moving. Those are all really important components of making sure that your bowels move in a healthy manner. So when you've got that extra stress, sometimes that's when bodies hold on to your poop. So you can use it internally that way. You can use and make your, that the digestive area more comfortable with either the abdomen pack, the one that goes right through here. It's not over your boobs, but the abdomen area or the liver and gallbladder area. You can put the castor oil there. Everybody's body is a bit different as to how they respond to the castor oil pack. I've never had any problems with it. I've never had anyone tell me that there are problems with it personally. I have had some information that I looked at online that said you shouldn't have it on for more than an hour. And I'm like, what? I mean, I've used it many times overnight with no problems. I haven't had any clients say that there was any problems using it overnight, but everyone's situation is different. So please remember that. Not diagnosing, not treating, not curing, any of that. We're just educating. And when it comes to that, that might be something for you personally that would be helpful for your digestive tract. And doing it consistently is always one of those key parts of really seeing the best results. So let's see. You do not, that's a great question, Yvonne. Thank you. You do not need to wash a castor oil pack after every use. This is part of, you're asking questions that I was going to be asking Marisol, but that's okay. You don't need to wash it after every use. You do have about a 60 use lifespan for a castor oil pack when you need to just chuck it and get a new one. They're not expensive. They're very easy to use. I have washed mine a number of times. You get to a point because castor oil is being sticky that it will just stay in the pack. And it's funny because this is a nice light pack, but there are times when this sucker gets weighed down because there's been so much castor oil that's been in it. So you don't have to wash it every use. I would never do it if I had to wash it every use. But I know some people store it in the fridge. For me, I'm like, I'll just live with it if it's not stored in the fridge. So washing it every time isn't necessary. I have used, there's on their website, at least they used to have on there, ways to wash the castor oil pack. If you don't find it there, let me know, and I am happy to share that. I just don't have that information quick at the draw. But you can use it in a lot of different ways. Sonia, you said, I heard to use it on the bottom of feet, covered with white socks. I've also heard some causes weird dreams. Any experience with that? I have not used it and had any weird dreams. I've used castor oil in a lot of parts of my body and never had that happen. I think a lot of times when we're having weird dreams about something, that has to do more with the way that the body is responding to finally having things release. So recently I used the castor oil pack when I did a liver flush. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with a liver flush, but what it does is it stimulates the liver to produce more bile and get stuff out of the bile, out of the liver, and it can help with gallbladder issues as well. I have a protocol that I use with clients to do a liver flush, and part of that liver flush was using a castor oil pack. So you do certain eating habits for a week and certain supplements for a week, and then you do a day where you have grapefruit juice with a little lemon juice and olive oil that you drink a cup of each of those alternately. And then right after that, you use the castor oil pack. So I use my handy dandy pack and put that over my, the liver gallbladder area. And I just relaxed and I was like, oh my goodness, that feels really good. It was almost like a hug. I know it sounds weird, but it was great. And felt very comfortable. I used a red light pad that I have for heating the area up a little bit more, just because I felt like that would be good. And it's one of those things that they say, if you'd like to use a heating pad or something like that, I thought I'll use some red light during that time. And when you do a liver flush, you pretty much need to be good to not do anything for a couple of days. And I did it over a long weekend, so I didn't have to worry about talking with clients or doing any kinds of work. My husband was actually gone, so it helped. He was visiting some friends in Southern California, and wow, it was so relaxing to do that. But at one point during the day, I felt like I was just all teary, and I was watching a movie that there was a little bit of sad, but I was like, oh, and I'm all, oh my goodness. there must have been some emotions that were trapped in the liver, which tend to be more anger, frustration, impatience. Resentment is really a big one for the gallbladder. And I didn't feel any of those things, but I felt like I was a mess for a little bit. I started crying and I'm going, oh my goodness, I'm not a crybaby and I don't cry that easy, but definitely a lot of emotional release. So if you aren't ready for an emotional release, don't do a liver flush for sure. But it is very relaxing. Castor sorry. Yes, they are extremely relaxing, Sonia. Absolutely. But the weird dreams, and that the reason I was getting back to that kind of the weird dream situation is there are some different groups on Facebook, and there was one for liver flush and gallbladder cleanse kind of thing. And this guy's like, I was totally acting out. And I'm thinking, why am I so mad and frustrated? And I'm like, well, maybe that was stuck in your liver because there's emotional relationships with different parts of the body, and having that area finally be able to release the physical aspects can help with release of the emotional as well. So I'm not exactly sure if there are specific things with castor oil that help with release. I think because it does so much and can be used pretty much anywhere on your body, that you've got opportunity to support all kinds of aspects of your health. I would think with something like using it over your breast area, because the breast area tends to be love, acceptance, compassion, that kind of a thing. There may be some emotions that might be released that way. I don't know. I haven't tried it, not making any claims, just saying that makes sense to me. Um, so the Queen of Thrones is who makes the castor oil roller ball too. So this isn't my creation. This isn't me finding it somewhere else. This is their little roller ball thing. And it's super easy to use. I mean, it's just a little roller ball. And you roll it on, you can use it on your face. I have one client that I don't think she's on our call today. Nope, she's not. But she uses castor oil on her face all the time. And of my clients, no offense to any of y'all that are on the call, but her skin looks the youngest of anybody that is older than me by far. Absolutely. Just beautiful skin condition. She goes, oh, I slather it all over my whole body. So I don't know where she learned to do that, but God bless her that she's taught me that. I thought that was pretty darn cool. Okay, anything else that you guys want to talk about today? So sorry again that she wasn't able to join us. I appreciate you hanging out with me for a little while and talking a little bit about castor oil. She actually has a new book coming out too. I looked for it online and I couldn't find it, but is the new title is Castor Oil, the Queen of All Oils. Simplify your skin, nail, and hair and nail care routine with the multi-use of a true clean beauty. So hopefully we'll be able to get some information on that with it next time. And I think that's it for today. If there's anything that you would like to talk about, let me know quickly in the chat. Otherwise, God bless you. Have a great day. And I will let y'all know when she's back on a call with us. So sorry. Awesome, Dora. Thank you. Love you too, Eliana. All right, so I'm going to turn off the recording and finish the webinar.